If there's been all this suppression that previous Democrats speakers have talked about, I'm sure it isn't working very well, because we have record turnout, which is, as we've said now multiple times, the ranking member said it, I think all the Republicans, is a good thing. So of course that hasn't happened.
It's a disgrace. I also find it curiouser and curiouser that, Mr. Jordan, you would use 2020 data on election participation when you won't even acknowledge the outcome of the same election.
I've acknowledged the outcome of the election.
Have you? Did Joe Biden win this election? There was no fraud? You're prepared to say that?
He's president of the United States.
No, that's not what I asked you. Did he win the election? You said he's the president of the United States. That's only because we were here while the Capitol was being besieged by thousands of people intent on overturning it, and stuck around to be able to confirm the results of the Electoral College. That's why you acknowledge the president.
All I've said is we should look into concerns that lots of voters have. I've never said that he didn't win. He's the president of the United States. But I said we should look into the concerns. I think that's just common sense.
Well, looking at concerns is fine. That's just the problem is
but you guys don't want to do that.
I don't know how many court cases we never found that.
Democrats want to change the rules, and you could also add one other thing in there. Democrats want to win this election after the election. This is the first time in American history where you have a party systematically set out to win an election after the election. And that's what they're doing, and it has to be stopped. You could just see what Democrats are planning on doing, Sean. And right now, you got, I mean, think about this, Sean. If you said before the election, we're going to keep the Senate, Republicans are going to gain 10, 12 seats in the House, President Trump's going to get 9 million more votes than he got 4 years ago, but he's not going to win. That's why 72 million Americans instinctively know something's not right here. They knew President Trump was going to win on election night, but they wanted to keep looking for and finding and counting ballots until they got over the top. And that's what we've seen play out. We had 4 years of the phony Russia hoax investigation. What's wrong with 4 weeks of investigating this election with all the irregularities in all these key swing states?
Something isn't right here. And again, of that 74 million people who voted for the president, 70-some% of those individuals think the election was rigged. This is why we got to get to the bottom of what happened, because that number, 70-some% of 74 million, is 50-some million people, 1/3 of the electorate, Grant. When 1/3 of the electorate, over 50 million people in our country, think something's wrong, that is not healthy. That is not good. So we owe it to them as well as President Trump to figure out exactly what took place in this election process. Over 200 people have signed affidavits or declarations saying there was fraud in this election. And now we have this video. Now we have this. So why not get to the bottom of all this? Listen, were there only Democrats in the room? I don't know. Did they force the observers to leave? We don't know. But it sure looks funny. Why don't Democrats want to get to the answers? And why don't Democrats want to investigate? It was Justice Ginsburg, late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who said January 6th is the ultimate date of significance. So that's because they understood, the founders understood, this is the time where the legislature has the ultimate say, and we need to have that debate and say on
Congressman, thanks so much.
Over 200 affidavits and declarations of wrongdoing, but no investigation in the Congress. No subpoenas, no depositions, no chance for question or cross-examination of witnesses. Why? Why won't they look into it? Why no hearings? Why no investigation? I think it's because deep down, they know there were big problems with this past election. They know the Constitution was